I've got some news about the inauguration that should have Trump and every American concerned. I don't like to fearmonger, but this is one of the biggest, most high profile, and potentially sketchy events I can ever remember, and everybody needs to know about these developments.
This American carnage stops right here and stops right now.
Please subscribe and turn on notifications for the Matthews Report, and let me know in the comments whether or not you think I should go to the inauguration and cover it for the Matthews Report. I'm trying to decide right now. I've also got a golden moment for you from the Pete Hegseth confirmation hearings today. But first, here's some videos of people in California committing arson and starting fires over the past week.
Hey, brother, why you do this, bro?
Why you do this, man? We just fight, bro.
Nah, bro, you going to jail, bro.
Oh, man, stop.
Oh, the whole trash can on fire, bro. Who did it then? Who did it? Who did it?
You did a fire shot.
You did the fire shot?
We did a fire shot. It was emergency, guys. My apologies, man.
People are lighting fires now. You can see they lit a fire. These guys, not all the people there, but some of those guys lit that fire, and they're actually, the trees caught fire, and then the palms are catching fire. So civilians are now lighting fires.
Here's one of an illegal immigrant running around a neighborhood with a flamethrower.
This video to you yesterday. As you can see, that man who was holding a blowtorch was walking around a neighborhood when neighbors did approach him. This is, of course, over in Los Angeles County, and it appeared that he was trying to light different materials on fire. Eventually, all the neighbors show up, they take him to the ground, and then they do take him into custody.
Here's a video of a fire starting out of nowhere on the Pacific Palisades Highway. I'm not here saying that these fires are man-made. What I am saying is, in some cases, it might be a brush fire. It might be a homeless person in the woods starting a fire.
Fire just started here randomly. Dude, are you kidding me?
No power lines. In the middle of the woods, fire starts happening.
Hell no. I mean, all the firefighters are right over there. I don't know what to do.
The Pete Hegseth confirmation hearings for Secretary of Defense were today, and all these dirtbag politicians are up there talking about he's not qualified, he has a drinking problem, he's not qualified, he cheated on his wife. And I'm like, how long is it going to take for somebody to point out that all of these people are either currently engaged in that behavior themselves, or their best friend in Congress is currently engaged in that behavior? It took about halfway through when the congressman from Oklahoma pointed this out.
The senator from Virginia starts bringing up the fact that what if you showed up drunk to your job? How many senators have showed up drunk to vote at night? Have any of you guys asked them to step down and resign from their job? And don't tell me you haven't seen it, because I know you have. And then how many senators do you know have got a divorce before cheating on their wives? Did you ask them to step down?
They're also now so concerned that somebody's going to leave the government and go work for a defense contractor and make a bunch of money, when that's all that's been happening for the past 50 years.
And then there's questions that the senator from Massachusetts brought up about serving on a board inside the military industry, and yet your own secretary that you all voted for, Secretary Arson, we had to vote on a waiver because he stepped off the board of Raytheon.
Okay, the Trump inauguration news that you need to know. James O'Keefe, who's a great undercover reporter who works with whistleblowers inside the government, had a whistleblower inside the Department of Veterans Affairs leak a memo to him that came from the Department of Health and Human Services, where they're requesting all sorts of emergency medical personnel at the inauguration that, as far as he can tell from his investigation, they've never had this at the inauguration in the past. They're requesting all sorts of emergency medical personnel this year. It raised the eyebrows of people inside the Department of Veterans Affairs. Here's more from James O'Keefe.
The memo details a formal request from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Strategic Preparedness and Response, or ASPR. It calls upon the Veterans Administration to provide critical medical support for the event. Specifically, they sought the deployment of paramedics, registered nurses with expertise in emergency and medical surgical care, and licensed medical practitioners, including MDs, DOs, NPs, PAs, specializing in emergency medicine.
He was also able to record a phone call with the whistleblower.
So can you just talk a minute about this being typical or not typical within the VA, them doing these sorts of things for the past few inaugurations?
What concerned me was that this has never been requested before, especially not from HHS. What we have, what I saw to me was a little bit unnerving. I've been in the VA for several inaugurations, and this was the first time they have ever asked for DEMS personnel.
First time they've ever asked for personnel.
For an inauguration, yes.
Why do you think that is?
I have no idea. That's why I decided to send that memo to you, because I believe that there's something unnerving about it. I'm not 100% sure, but my gut says this is not normal, and it's not.
There's a link to the full James O'Keefe report in the description. He ends up getting the guy who wrote the memo on the phone, the high-ranking guy who wrote the memo on the phone, and the guy can't really articulate or prove to him that this was done in the past and why are we doing it differently this year. It leaves more questions than answers. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know whether or not you think I should go to the inauguration. We all just want Trump and his family and everyone who's there in DC on Monday to be safe. Thank you for watching the entire Matthews Report. Please subscribe and turn on notifications and check back for more reports soon. I've got lots of good stuff coming your way.